If you're an American between ages of 45 and 65 and you're thinking about retiring overseas or start traveling the world at your own pace, or maybe spending several months each year so traveling the world, there's one question that almost everyone eventually asks, and that is, what happens if I need healthcare overseas? Let's be honest, healthcare probably is one of the biggest reasons most people hesitate to retire abroad or traveling the world. I know because I was one of those people. Before spending months traveling through Malaysia, I had all the same questions. Would the hospitals be clean? Would the doctors speak good enough English? Would I trust the medical care? Would it actually be affordable? Instead of guessing, my husband and I decided to find out for ourselves. We scheduled a comprehensive health screening at one of Kuala Lumpur's private hospitals for expats because we wanted to know if we retire there someday or travel around the world, could we trust the healthcare system in a place like Malaysia or somewhere else? Today, I'm talking you through that experience, and I'll show you how we booked everything, what the hospital was like, every test we went through, how much time it took, and exactly what we paid for. And most importantly, whether I think Malaysia is a place where Americans can confidently receive a routine medical care during retirement. Make sure to stay with me until the end because I'm going to share our actual invoices and what additional referral costs that cost us after we went through this medical full checkup. By the way, everything I'm sharing today is based on personal experience of receiving healthcare in Malaysia, and this video is for informational purposes only and should not be considered as a medical, financial, or legal advice. Always consult with your qualified professional. One thing my husband and I promised ourselves before traveling overseas was if we were ever going to seriously consider this lifestyle, we wanted to experience everyday life like getting our health checkups and establishing health routines and figuring out what healthcare looks like abroad. Because here's the truth, healthcare isn't something you only think about when you're sick. As we get older, every year, annual physicals become important, blood work becomes important, preventive care becomes important. If we're going to spend months or maybe one day years living overseas, I wanted to know exactly what routine healthcare would feel like. How we found out about this hospital is very simple. I was watching a video just like this one that you're watching of other YouTubers, other expats who are traveling the world and their experience in full health checkup in Kuala Lumpur. And there were several different hospitals that seemed like a lot of travelers would talk about. And one of them was Prince Court Hospital in Kuala Lumpur. And so that's the one we chose to go with. As we researched, we looked for a few things: a good reputation, English-speaking staff, comprehensive healthcare screening packages, easy appointment scheduling, positive patient reviews, and a hospital that many international patients already trusted. Once we narrowed it down, booking that appointment was actually much easier than I expected. We booked it months ahead online first because we're thinking, hey, in America, we usually book months in advance because that's how healthcare system works. But when we got to Malaysia, our travel plans changed a little bit. And so we had to cancel our old appointment and schedule a new one. But that wasn't a problem. We felt we had to make an appointment weeks and months in advance, just like how we are used to in the States. But that was not the case. We called the Prince Court phone number while we were in Malaysia, and immediately we were able to talk with someone and said, hey, we originally booked on such and such a date. Well, that did not work out because our travel plans changed and we needed to switch it to, to these dates. Is there any availability for, one male, one female for this package and such and such? Gave them our information. They said, yeah, no problem. And they literally booked us in a matter of a couple of days. They got us an appointment for full healthcare checkup. Once your appointment is booked, they emailed us with the package and the care instruction. And, because we were doing a whole list of tests, and one of them included fasting blood test. And so we had to, the night before, or I think the instruction says 8 hours or 10 hours before your appointment, stop eating because it's a fasting blood test. So they give us all the instructions we needed to know, where to show up and how to register and go through there. Once we showed up at our appointment date, we showed up in the morning and we went to where we were told to go. The hospital was amazing. It felt like a nice hotel, honestly. It didn't feel like a hospital. And once we got to the health screening area, we checked in and paid for our packages. I took our information and told us to take a seat in the waiting area. Starting from that, we got there probably like 9 a.m. in the morning, and they had a full assembly line set up for the screening processes. They go from room to the next test, the next test. They had all these things planned out, and so they will move you through almost like an assembly line of these rooms, these testing areas for all these people who are doing health screening packages. So they were very well organized, had everything planned out for the next 2 to 3 hours. We were moving through that assembly line, doing all kinds of measurements and tests and checkups and everything that was on the package list. Now, depending on whatever package that you choose, based on your gender and your age, they recommend different packages. And these packages, some of them have different tests and routines that others don't have based on your information. We went through all of that, and by lunchtime, we were already done with all the tests. All the nurses and the people who were there doing the tests and measurements and things like that were very kind, professional, and pleasant to work with. And actually, I'm one of those people who are just kind of afraid of seeing blood and needles. And so I'm not a fan of going to hospitals a lot. And so at one point, they had a hard time finding my vein. And that's a very common thing for me whenever I go in for blood tests or something like that. And the tech lady was so kind. She could see that I was feeling nervous because I'm like, well, they have a hard time finding my vein. I let her know up front that's usually what happens. And so she had to poke a couple times to get it. And, but she was so kind and trying to calm me down, help me relax. Actually, it did help a little bit because, depending on what kind of nurse or person who's drawing your blood you get, you can really get stressed out if you have that kind of fear. So she was actually very kind, and we got in, I think, on the second time, was able to do that. And so that just, made me feel more at ease. So let's go through the packages that we have for Prince Court. This is Prince Court. I know different hospitals, different locations have different packages. I'm just sharing with you what I have found. So I did the below 40 female vibrant package, and that is 1,100 ringgit. At the time we had this test, with that conversion rate at that time, it was $260.11. And the package that my husband did was the above 40 male package, and that one was 1,500 Malaysian ringgit. And with the conversion rate at that time, it was $350.30 US. So that was the price that we paid for our packages. Obviously, you can see the price for different packages here on their website, and I will link it below. By the way, this is not sponsored by Prince Court or anything like that. This is just our experience. And you can find this information online on their website. And so depending on the currency exchange rate of when you do it, it might go up and down a little bit based on the conversion rate of the US dollar to Malaysian ringgit. But otherwise, if you're looking at there is, for example, above 40 female package is 1,650 Malaysian ringgit, or it's $403.24 in US dollars with today's exchange rate. And above 50 male package is 1,800 Malaysian ringgit. So the older you get, the prices go a little bit higher for each package, because I think it involves like more extra tests that you have to do the older you are. So there's more tests included in with the older package you pick. And that one is in US dollars, $439.89. And above 50 female package is 2,050 Malaysian ringgit, or 501 US dollars in today's exchange rate. Now, if you're looking at above 60 male package, that one is 1,150 Malaysian ringgit. So it goes down again. It is $281 today. And if you're looking for the above 60 female package, then it is 1,200 Malaysian ringgit, or $293. Also, you can do the lighter package regardless of your age or gender. And that one is just called all adults, not specific ages. It's just called the essential male or essential female package. And you can get more of the trimmed down version of the full comprehensive health screening test. And that one is only 600 Malaysian ringgit, or $146.63 US dollars. So Depending on what package you're looking for, what's included, as I mentioned, you can click on their website and see what's included in each package and what kind of tests you're looking to get. So that is public information you can find on your own. And so we chose the comprehensive package based on our age and gender, and we wanted to get a thorough testing of everything while we were there. And we worked our way through a series of different tests: blood pressure, height, weight, blood work, a urine sample, eyes, heart screening, chest imaging. So they sent us, after they done all the tests, and gyno appointment for me, and for my husband or something else. And so after they done all the tests, they said, okay, you're done. Here's some lunch vouchers down at our food court. You can go have lunch. And after lunch, come back and meet with Dr. So-and-so at 1 o'clock or 1 or 2 o'clock. I forgot what it was. It's the afternoon after lunch. And so a couple hours later after lunch, we came back. By the way, their food court at Prince Court, they have amazing food. So they gave us these vouchers. That was part of the package that was already included. That includes lunch. So we got ourselves some lunch down there. And their food was actually a decent restaurant quality food, I would have to say. I've actually heard from other travelers and expats that they just come to Prince Court just for the food, to hang out and downstairs to grab food sometimes, not even for the medical stuff. So that ain't something you should definitely try if you're there. Don't forget to check out their food court as well. So after lunch, we went upstairs to go back to the meet with the doctor and go over all our results, and explain to us if we had any questions about what that means, what we, next actions and things like that. So we met with the doctor and she explained to us, went over the result and some of the areas of concern and otherwise. And so there were some things that she referred me to that it eventually led into my emergency surgery in Malaysia. And if you haven't seen that video, feel free to check that video out. And that started because they found a problem that was quite concerning during this routine health checkup that I was doing. And they referred me to a specialist. The specialist referred me to a surgeon. And so that's how whole surgery happened. And I decided to go through with the surgery. And my husband, they found some less urgent issues as well. And so they referred him to a specialist to get further tests and things checked out. And he ended up getting a medication. So the Prince Court has their own pharmacy that you can get prescriptions if the doctor prescribes you based on that finding, or you can get it from any other pharmacy that you can if they just prescribe you a medication. So that was our experience with this one. Overall, I think for the price of the package and the convenience and how quickly they were able to get us an appointment, to get us in, and it's all just one morning of testing and go have lunch, come back, meet with the doctor, and they referred us to specialists for any issues if we choose to go with them. If not, you can all get it done pretty much less than full day. By the afternoon, you're done. So that was very, very fast and convenient and impressive. They had that assembly line set up very efficiently. So if you're looking to get a routine checkup like this done in Kuala Lumpur, I know there are other options out there as well, but Prince Court is the one we went with. If you have any questions about this, feel free to go check out their website. Or if you want to ask me questions about my experience with them, feel free to drop them in the description below. Also, if you're looking to retire in the next few years and travel the world, don't forget to download my free retirement travel readiness checklist. That way you know how ready you are and what other things that you haven't thought about. You need to get those prepared ahead of time before you take off from the US and start your travel journey. So I hope you like this video. Thanks for watching, subscribing, and liking, and I'll see you in the next one.